Well, you can imagine how excited I am. At this time, I'd like to invite Provost Kimo Ayun, the Dean of the College of Engineering, Dr. Chris Rapella, the Acting Dean of the College of Business Administration, Tim Hanley, and the Dean of the School of Law here at Marquette, Joe Kearney, to the stage. The anticipation for at least the next few minutes is that we'd like to tell you a little bit more about what this is going to mean. The idea of what is an interdisciplinary institute at a place like Marquette, and understanding that almost none of these exist anywhere else in the nation means that we need to unpack it a little bit for all of you, because as you've already seen, it's all of you that are impacting the lives of our students by being here and by making all this stuff, the stuff that we do possible. So I want to thank our provost and my fellow deans for joining us today. So please join me in welcoming them. All right, so first and foremost, Kimo, let's start with you.
I want to know why my name's in smaller font up there. I said it's supposed to be bolded.
So, and you are worth the bolding for just asking that question. Kimo, help us with the background on this. So, what does an institute mean at Marquette? We know at a lot of universities it's interchangeable, institute, center, it's not necessarily special. But why is that distinction so important, not just here, but nationally?
So, an institute is an organizational structure, and it identifies the focus the university has. That's something that's very special to them. When we look at organizational structures, it's often considered to be the most prestigious of those organizational structures. And it has certain characteristics that might not be found in other structures. First is permanency. It is something that is expected to continue to go on for generations. Second, there are programming expectations where we're expected to figure out how to move that initiative forward. And third, it has budget independence. And so it is internally self-sufficient so that we know it will continue.
And can you just give our audience a little bit of context about what other institutes exist at Marquette and why the Vieth Institute for Real Estate Leadership might be a catalyst even for future innovation at the university?
So we have 6 institutes at Marquette right now. I'll just give you an example of some of them. The Institute for Women's Leadership, the Northwestern Mutual Data Science Institute, the National Sports Law Institute. So each of those has its own flavors and how it's contributing to the university. When I think about why I know this program will be successful, this institute, I think about top to bottom about where we are. First, leadership, and Andy is an incredible leader, so can we just give him an applause about his leadership?
Thank you.
But that's only part of it. The second part is a leader can only go so far as their team is behind them. And we think about the strength of the College of Business Administration, and I'm going to just let something out of the bag right now. They're setting records of their students coming in. Last I checked, they had 450 new students showing up to Marquette in the fall. Just 3 years ago, they were at 300. So they're doing incredible work. So it's about that support of their faculty and staff. It also has to do with the other supporters that we have here that you're going to hear from other deans who are helping to kind of walk alongside and give their input as well. And then lastly, I would say it's the willingness of the Vieths to step forward and say this is an important initiative so we know it will continue.
Thank you, Kimo. It's such important background to understand that how much broader this mission that we have is getting. Dean Kearney, so the law school, absolutely one of the jewels in the crown of Marquette. You have seen some incredible growth and innovation over the years, and I think it's 21 years as dean now, correct? And some of those endeavors, they started off small before growing into something special. And you also have this laudable history of educating innovative entrepreneurs, most notably Joe Zilber and Ray Eckstein, just to mention 2 of those. So what new opportunities do you see for our aspiring Marquette lawyers? We have a few right here in the front row in the Real Estate Law Society. through their participation, especially through like the Law and Entrepreneurship Clinic and other initiatives.
Right, I appreciate that. To be clear, Joe Zilber graduated in 1941 and Ray Eckstein in 1949, and I was not dean during that period. But I will certainly claim the association and be grateful for it. We do have a tradition of educating people who go out into the business world and act as entrepreneurs, and yet about 15 years ago, we realized that we need to be a lot more self-conscious about this. And so we recruited a new faculty member. You know her well, Nadel Grossman, who has been with us for more than 15 years now and is the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. And we really wanted to communicate to our students that as much as we love litigation, or at least some of us love litigation, we also want to provide educational opportunities in the transactional sphere. And that was good enough at the time, and it was a step forward. And then Dr. Lovell became president of the university, and in a number of respects, always implicitly, but clearly enough, he indicated that we needed to step up our game across the university. One of those spheres was water, which is certainly not unrelated to real estate, but another more direct one was in the sphere of entrepreneurship. And so we, after some thought, created the Law and Entrepreneurship Clinic. We got some initial support from the university through what was then called the Strategic Innovation Fund, and we have otherwise supported that, and subsequently entirely through our annual fund or donations. And we appointed a new professor, a clinical professor, which was unusual for us to have a live client in-house clinic, Nathan Hammonds, who's now clinical professor of law. And one of my reasons for the great excitement that we have is the opportunity to make much greater common cause with the business school and the engineering school, who, without question, are ahead of us with respect to their traditions and their practices in terms of educating entrepreneurs. So we have done this incrementally. I kind of call it the common law process, but that sounds a little too much like litigation, I guess. But we try to have a case and learn from it, maybe not so different from the way business works. And we're so excited about working with the business school and the engineering school. And I am so grateful to the Vieths for their confidence in all of us.
Thank you so much for your support of this, Dean Kearney, and your incredible leadership as well. Dr. Rapella, moving over to our amazing College of Engineering, the Opus College of Engineering. By the way, God bless Opus. My father, who's here, was a 25-year Opus alum, and if it weren't for him exposing me to a bunch of Opus Marquette alums, I'm not sure that I'd be here today. So you bear the name of that company, both at the college and as the Opus Dean. So I know that that's something that's really special to a lot of us. What makes you most excited about what's possible with this interdisciplinary institute, knowing that engineering has been on the forefront of this kind of collaboration for a long time?
Thank you, Andy. Yeah, I think there's a lot of exciting things about it, just the interdisciplinary nature. Innovation starts with interdisciplinary. It's getting out of our comfort zones, getting out of our usual disciplines, getting out of our usual groups, and really being open to new viewpoints, new ideas, new perspectives on things. That's where innovation happens, and it's also where entrepreneurship starts. And so it's really exciting whenever we're working across colleges to get together with colleagues, industries, and think very differently about things like real estate. And so very excited about that piece of it, but particularly the leadership piece. As you know, it's intentional leadership development is very important to us, particularly at our college, but across this university. And that, I think what differentiates Marquette graduates is the leadership potential, leadership acumen. It's what our employers tell us. So through things like our eLead program, through some of our executive education and working with industry, that leadership piece, and particularly, as the Vieth said, the servant leadership piece, right, that I think Marquette does so well, and as our alumni give testimony to that every single day. And our alumni take risks. They have courage. They've moved across disciplines. Our most successful alumni have combinations of engineering and business degrees. So again, just one more opportunity for those things to continue to happen.
Thank you, Dr. Rapella. we couldn't be more excited to work together as well. And last but certainly not least, Tim, coming back to business, our home. You've seen a lot in your short acting dean term and overseeing all this. But I think one of the things that you also get to see closest is that there's a pretty great team in the College of Business that's really set up to lead this and to be part of this interdisciplinary learning across all three colleges. Of course, Dr. Anthony Pennington-Cross, our former Bell Chair in real estate, is here. He's year number 2 in the college, an incredible leader. Dr. George Cashman, our current Bell Chair, one of the most widely renowned researchers in the world, ranked that way, and also beloved by the students. You have Vito Taphorn, who leads our real estate asset program. You have Melanie Ripke, who is all about our student success. This is a special group. What do you see from your vantage point that makes you feel so confident this is going to be successful?
Well, I'm incredibly grateful to you, Andy, for all of your leadership and to all the team we have here at Marquette. Kimo, this number, we may set an all-time enrollment record in this year's freshman class in the college. We'll have to go check that. And again, I like to say sometimes this does not happen by accident. And this program, this real estate program, has got to be a reason for those numbers. And Andy, look at this room. The reason I'm so optimistic about the future is look at this room. This room is full of our alum, these incredible companies that hire them, and they're really interested in where this program is headed. And Perry and Sheila, I couldn't be so incredibly more grateful to you. This is vision. Perry, we remember these conversations. You and I met maybe 2 or 3 years ago. This institute that we're going to deliver with these incredibly talented leaders that sit next to me, that is vision. And we're going to have to tell that story. And I'm like you, I'm excited to see what the next 5 and 10 and 20 years are going to look like, Andy, because we're going to need more talent. We're going to need more talent, more people around that have helped build this next generation of leaders. I just want to share something with all of you. Maybe we have a few more business people in the group than engineers and attorneys. But these 2 leaders next to me, they have vision too. And I think it's incredibly exciting. Sometimes we have a tendency to be in silos. I spent my first 40 years in business. We had silos in my first career. But this opportunity, look at this table right here. We have a table of engineers, attorneys of the future, and business school students. That's what this room is going to be full of in the years to come, thanks to Perry and Sheila. Andy, so I'm incredibly optimistic about what lies ahead and really excited to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, and let's finish this up by, I'd love for each of you just to give our audience one lasting takeaway. What do you want them to know about why you're so excited for this institute and why they should be excited as well? Jill, let's just start with you.
Great. So when I had the opportunity to talk with Perry, Mike, it was during the gift of time. I hope that's okay that I was doing a little work during that over the Christmas break. He emphasized that his vision for this institute particularly has to do with collaborative and applied learning. And the law school and the engineering school and the business school do so many different things. We do them in the community, but no one doubts that the most important thing that we do is to help our students develop themselves, in our case, into Marquette lawyers. And the opportunity to collaborate with the business school and the engineering school in ways that will directly affect the education of some of our students is incredibly exciting. Thank you.
Thanks. Dr. Rapella?
I'm looking forward to Marquette taking a leadership role in the idea of fair housing. So having had watching my own children try to purchase houses in the last year or two, there's a lot of unfairness in the whole real estate practices. And so I look forward to us being a leader in ethical practices, in thinking differently about access to real estate and how just the whole operation works in terms of who has access to where they live and how those are determined.
I love that. Absolutely, Dr. Rapella. Tim?
I'll just add that we have to challenge everything we do here. We're going to have to reinvent ourselves. You employers are asking for different kind of capabilities around technologies, around leadership. And so what I'm excited about that Perry and Sheila have helped happen is you're going to help us reinvent this. And we're going to be cross-training each other. that hasn't necessarily happened in the past. And so I'm super excited about what's going to happen. It's all because of your family. So thank you.
And of course, there will be another member, I suppose, of this group. Andrew DeGear will be succeeding Tim on July 1st as our next Keys Dean of Business. I know Andrew's here today as well, so we should for sure mention him because he's going to be an important aspect of this. Tim, you might want to say anything about that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I couldn't be more excited. You might know I've been in this job a little longer than I originally planned. But Dr. Lovell's allowed me to stay for a little over 4 years now, and I'm incredibly excited that Andrew's going to succeed me. And he, by the way, is 100% bought into this. All of you, if you haven't met him yet, and many of you know him, by the way, not coincidentally, Joe, of course, my successor's father was once the dean of the law school, so there's a lot of symmetry in all of this. And so you will love meeting Andrew, and he's going to be a great next leader for this college.
Coming soon to a conference introduction near you, Andrew DeGear. And Kimo, bring us home, a lasting takeaway.
I wake up every day and think about the mission of Marquette. And one of the things, looking back in the back corner there, the pillars of our mission exist on that wall. Excellence, faith, leadership, and service. And I think about this institute and how it will help us to achieve why we exist as a university, and that's what makes me most excited. This is all wrapped up into who we are.
You know, I'll close by thanking all of you for being part of this process. One thing that I'd love everyone in this room to know is that as part of Perry and Sheila's challenge to us, it was to build something sustainable from the ground up and to go to each of the incredible deans that you see in front of us and Provost Yoon and President Lovell, and to share the vision for what's possible with them and to get them excited and to be bought in and to be those true partners with us and to elevate this in a way where this, without a doubt, will have a lot of national prominence and will all come back to impacting the lives of our students every single day, and not just in business, but also in real estate or in law and in engineering as well. So please join me in thanking our panelists, and one more thank you for Perry and Sheila.